Hi, this is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And in this episode, we're going to discuss how perception is everything. So what is perception, and how is it really that our perception is the manifestation that we see in our lives? Well, perception is the way that you think about or understand someone or something. It's really the ability to understand or notice something easily. And it's the way that you notice or understand something using one of your senses. Perception is how we personally, each individual, look at and interpret our reality. And as many people on the planet, there can be as many perceptions. So here's a great example. One of my dearest friends and business associates, John, called me one day on my cell phone to tell me something. And I didn't answer because I just frankly don't like him. No, I'm kidding. I was with the boys and I didn't hear the phone ring. And when I called him back, he said to me, you know what? You have got to change your ringback tone. You have some classical music that plays instead of a ring and it's so distracting me that every time I call, I forget why I'm calling you. And the funny thing was, I never chose the ringback tone. It just appeared one day. So I asked my friend and teacher with the QSCA, Evelyn, who I know has a music ringback tone. I asked her, how do you change it? And, you know, how do you get so it's like I'm hearing music instead? So I asked Evelyn how to change it. And she got her son George to give me the instructions. And I changed it back, or at least I thought I did, to a ring. And for me, it was no big deal. And if it bothered John, okay, I figure I'll change it. So I'd hoped to get one that had like Baby Got Back.
Oh, fellas! Yeah! Fellas! Yeah! Girl putting up the butt? Hell yeah! Then shake it! Shake it! Shake that healthy butt!
You know, I like big butts, but that was just not an option. So the next morning, I was having a session with Ken Stone, who is an energy healer who I work with. He's phenomenal. And I asked him, hi, Ken, before we get into our session, do I still have my ringback tone? Because he always calls me. And I was just checking to see if it's changed because I tried to change it yesterday. And he said, no, you know what? I was just listening to it, thinking how wonderfully relaxing this music is. And I would just love to do that on my phone so that when people call me, they can feel relaxed as well. And I just totally started laughing because the very reason I was asking was because John, his perception the day before, you know, so you have two people, same situation, two very different perceptions. Who was right? They both were. They both had their own opinion and their own perception. They experienced what they experienced based on their likes, their music preferences, etc. So I also have another example. I don't know if you remember the episode I did on judging others where I was in Istanbul, Turkey. And then I said that the call to prayer, initially when I walked outside, it scared me for a moment. And after that episode, I had one of my certified QSCA coaches, Vicki Phelps, love Vicki, hi Vicki, tell me that episode that she had seen, she had a completely, totally different experience when she was in India. When she heard the call to prayer, she felt home. She felt an opening within herself. So again, two people, similar call to prayers, two totally different perceptions and therefore experiences. So here's a perfect example of this. Take a look at these pictures. What do you see at first? Are you seeing two faces or are you seeing the vase? Because they're both there. You know, Wayne Dyer had said and wrote about in his book, Change the Way You Look at Things and the Things You Look at Change. He said that the truth of really the saying is actually found in the field of quantum physics. And it turns out that the tiniest subatomic level, the actual act of observing a particle changes the particle. The way we observe these initially, like these infinitely small building blocks of life, is determining really the determining factor in what they ultimately become. If we extend this metaphor to larger and larger particles and begin to see ourselves as particles in a larger body called humanity or even a larger life itself, then it's not such a huge stretch to imagine that the way we observe the world that we live in affects the world that we experience. So think of this little journey into quantum physics as a metaphor for your life. Your feelings of success and your experiences of prosperity and abundance depend on your positive view of yourself and your life, and of course the universe from which success and abundance comes from. So changing the way you look at things is an extremely powerful tool. So start by examining how you look at things. You know, how is it that we have such different perceptions? And more importantly, how can we shift our perceptions to be of abundance and not of lack? You know, each of us were born into a family. We were planted like a seed in a garden, and we are influenced by the environment that we were raised in. And we learn to either have the same or a very different perception as our family. But now that we're adults, we can choose the perception that we want. So choose to look at life as you want to see life. Choose to look at the universe and everything in it as abundant. And with that perception, you'll create that as your reality. So what do you see here? Do you see the man playing the instrument? Or do you see a woman? Because they're both there. What we choose to look at, how we choose to feel, how we choose to think, all comes from our perceptions. And the perceptions that are of abundance feel good to us, and the perceptions of lack feel horrible. So here's a great quote from Abraham on perceptions. Every emotion from despair all the way up to ecstasy, from complete connectedness to who we really are, all the way to pinching yourself off pretty severely, all of those emotions are about your perception of your freedom or your perception of bondage. Every single one of them. That's from Abraham Hicks. This universe is filled with both and. And if we're stuck in our own perceptions of things that are lack, based in lack, that's what we will see. So I really invite you to be open and to change your perception. Start looking for abundance. Start feeling and sensing abundance. Start seeing the entire universe as abundant. And from that perspective, that will be what you create in your reality. So please leave me a comment and let me know how this information has impacted you. Let's continue the conversation. And as always, if you haven't already done so, please go to ChristyWhitman.com and join the family. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends and family. And just remember, the universe is friendly and is always working for you, if that's your perception. It's always supporting you, whatever you're asking for. And you ask by the energy and the vibration that you send out.